When you live in a small town, everyone knows where you've been and what you have done. I've been trying to leave this old town since I was able to run. It's been raining all season, and these goddamn mosquitoes suck me dry. Sure as hell ain't easy living.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Zada.
And I'm Kelly, and you're listening to
Two Sides and the Truth. Welcome back to Season 2, everybody.
Woohoo!
We're
Season
super excited. Thanks for your patience and all the messages and the comments and the shares and the likes and all that stuff. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We would really like it if you would continue to do that and continue to promote it. So it really does a lot for us. Welcome to Season 2. With Season 2, we have a few changes. Not anything dramatic. You're going to get the same show, slightly different. Kelly, you want to tell them about our new format?
All right. So what we're going to try and do is have a little bit better segmented. We tried when we first had Season 1, kind of did well, but kind of just went with whatever we wanted to.
We went down a lot of rabbit holes.
But you're still going to get the rabbit holes, but just hopefully not as many in one segment. So
yes,
what we're going to try and follow is coming in, kind of doing a little bit of a catch up, but actually like kind of having a little more time limit wise of catching up on what's going on. And just shooting the shit.
I'm sure y'all only want to know so much about us.
We give y'all a lot of information.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Then we're going to have a segment where we'll actually have a topic that we are covering that day. So it will be something that we want to discuss a little bit into depth. And then we'll also either have somebody come in to answer a question regarding our topic, or maybe we'll just have a quick questionnaire with somebody either over the phone or somebody that we pull in from Big Al's Down the Hatch, or a special guest that we, have on and have little just questionnaire kind of thing.
So it's going to be a guest involved segment each week.
Hopefully.
Even if the guest isn't here.
Yes.
It might be, they might ask us a question and we discuss the question on the podcast without them being involved in it. Because some people don't want to be involved in it, but they want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So it's going to be something interactive with somebody that's a listener.
Yeah, so reaching out to guests in some way.
And some meet and greets are going to happen. And that could even be something where they could meet and greet and come here and watch the show and then discuss it. It might not be like an audience. It might literally just be like a listener and a guest or something along those lines.
So,
yeah. So that's a new format. And so we hope y'all like the new format. Feedback is good. Yeah. Because, we learn from what y'all tell us that you want to hear. Mm-hmm. So, we kind of thought we were overdoing the conversations about ourselves, but listeners were like, no, you're not.
We've had many people be like, stop worrying about how long you're talking. Just stop.
Yeah, keep talking, keep talking.
Okay, no problem. We can
ignore
do that.
Al. We heard a lot of that.
Duly noted.
Yeah, so this is kind of what you expect, as well as we're going to have some new, you're going to see more presence of us on social media.
Yes. So we got social media. We've got our toe dipped into the pool of social media. We'll say that.
We made an Instagram.
Yeah. So we have an Instagram for Two Sides and the Truth, and that is what it is, Two Sides and the Truth. So if you go to Instagram and you want to find us,
or you can go to one of our Instagram pages and follow us, which if you follow us, you'll see who we follow.
Yes.
And we follow Two Sides and the Truth. So if you want an easy way to find it is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so on Instagram, I'm Z Mamacita and Kelly is
Kelly Lady Pearl.
And then you know that our actual Instagram is Two Sides and the Truth.
Yes. And then we also just created a Facebook as well. And it's the same thing. Our Facebook is Two Sides and the Truth.
But we had to do something different though. We had to use the and sign.
It is the and sign, which on most of our things, like on our Apple and everything like that, a lot of our Two Sides and the Truth, the and is the actual and symbol. But on, like, say, our Instagram, we had to actually use the word and.
Yeah, it just
A&D.
depends on what their rules are.
But I've noticed that, like, if you go on Google and you Google us, we come up either way. If you type out two sides and the truth or use the and sign, it comes up either way.
I think also if you just Google Zada Owens podcast, it'll take you to both podcasts.
It does.
Or I'm sure. Well, Kelly Garcia is a little bit more of a common name than Zada.
But it comes up
helps.
whenever you type up the podcast, our names, it comes up in the podcast.
Yeah. So y'all follow, like, share all the good things that y'all do.
Mm-hmm.
Review us, please. Unless you're being an asshole, then keep your shit to yourself. But everybody else,
Hey, I don't mind. Negative press is still press, so
that's true.
I really don't.
But you know, I'm known to put curses on people. But whatever. I'm just kidding.
We had a really good turnout from people following us on Instagram, and we did do our first 50 followers that are getting a thank you card and a sticker. But I know we had some people that were sad that they missed out on the 50. Now, the only reason that we didn't do 100 is A, I did not want to have to write 100 thank you cards. 50 is enough. Yes. And B, we are still in the process of kind of like seeing how merch goes. Whenever you first get things from places that you've never ordered things from, you don't really know the quality, you don't know how things are going to come out. So we are just trying certain things for now. We got business.
That being said, let's discuss our business cards.
We got business cards, which we were very excited about. When I was making these business cards, I only ordered like 100. That was like the smallest thing that you could get. Well, actually, I think 50 was, but I wanted to get a few extra. But I wanted to make sure the quality was going to be good and that everything was going to work out. And before I submitted it, I used our logo and I used our QR code, and I made sure that it worked. Now, when we got the business cards, they look perfect. I absolutely love the quality. But we noticed that when you go to scan the QR code on the back, it does not work. It comes up with the error. It says, oops, it is not working. Yeah,
we're thinking that it has to do with this. If it's just a slight bit fuzzy, and it may not look fuzzy to the naked eye, according to internet.
Yeah, it says that
it cannot work.
If you resize it in any way, that could make it not work.
Yeah, and so we're working on that. So if you get a mailer from us, it has our business card and the QR code doesn't work, you should just hang on to that because it could be worth money someday. Like when they fuck up on money and shit.
Yeah, when the pennies are messed up.
Yes, someday. You don't know.
Or someday.
Look at Zoe laughing. Don't laugh. You don't know. Have you met me? I do whatever the fuck I want.
But we are going to be getting more merch in. So we're going to be ordering more things, more stickers. I had some people who wanted koozies and like pins to like put on different things. Yeah. So and
t-shirts and stuff we want to do, but that requires sizes.
Yeah. So, but we are going to set up ways that you can go and order like merch for yourself if you're wanting that. But we are going to get some merch, and we're going to be doing more giveaways. So during season 2, we are going to have basically a big bucket of names. Everybody who is following our Instagram, or Facebook, your name is automatically going to go into that bucket. So if you're following us on Instagram, it's going in. If you're also following us on Facebook, it's going in again. So anything that you follow us social media wise, we will put your name in the bucket. And then there will also be more ways as we go through season 2 to get your name into the bucket more times.
Can you see, because Kelly's doing all this social media stuff, can you see who shares? I feel like you can. I thought on Facebook, I looked at the Facebook one and I thought I saw where it showed who shares something.
It shows how many times you were shared, but it doesn't actually show the person that shares you.
Because I was going to say, if they share, I want to give them an extra prize.
Now, the way that we did it on
like another entry for a prize.
If you comment on a post and you tag somebody in it, then yes, it shows. And so that's another thing that we can do is like, we'll post a picture or we'll post something and like, okay, if you go to this picture and you like and you share this picture, like you comment, you add a person onto the comment, like tag somebody into it, that's going to get you another name into the bucket. And as season 2 goes, we will continue to just add names, add. Nothing. We'll never like restart the bucket so that if you have 2 entries already, they're going to stay in there the entire season 2. And you're just going to, we'll give you more ways to add your name in multiple times, but we'll let you know when that happens.
So that means when you get a message from us that says you have won and we need your address, it's real because...
Yes, we've had a few people that are like, is this a scam? I don't know.
Like they'll get the message from our Facebook or Instagram account, and then they will message my Facebook or Instagram or Kelly's and be like, is this real? Is this really y'all? And didn't one of them ask for proof?
Yes. So I had one that was like, really made me laugh because she's like, I don't know if this is a scam. Ask me something that I would only know like off the podcast. So I was like, okay, well, what are our boyfriends' names? And so she came back with Rick and Dante. I was like, yes, it's Rick and Dante. And also Zada's favorite cuss word is fuck.
I mean, that's fucking true.
I was like, if you need any other, information, we'll definitely give you that. But yes, our Facebook account is legit. It is us. Now, but obviously, don't feel bad if you're wanting to reach out and talk to us and figure out a way to make sure that we are legit. Yeah. I understand. But then I've had a few that made me laugh because they were like, I hope this is legit, but they still just put all their information.
I got a message from someone because on Third Wheel podcast with Al this last week, he got a wild hair and randomly, no warning to us, was like, we should have y'all come and watch us. He invited like listeners to come and sit in the He's like, we can fit 10 of y'all. We can do that. I don't know where the fuck we're fitting 10 of us.
They got to sit on the piano.
They're going to be sitting on the piano. He was like, we can fit 10 of y'all. Yeah. Y'all come. And it's like $20 a person. And Amy and I are like, no one's going to pay. He was like, okay, we'll buy y'all a drink. It like totally flipped, like the opposite direction.
We're going to pay you.
But one listener messaged me. She goes, I really want my husband to take me. What time are y'all doing Monday? And I said 5 o'clock. She goes, okay, well, I live like 3 or 4 hours away, so I don't know if I can make it. And I was like, where do you live? She said, Houston. I said, okay, well, let me know. If you can't make it, and this is the Third Wheel. I said, if you can't make it, but you can make another day, but you come on in. I'll make it happen. Oh, my God. She was so excited. And I was like, we're really not that exciting. But
I'm glad that you're
promise
excited.
I will cuss, and I'll probably be drinking some whiskey. And so if that's what you're looking for, I'm your girl, and come on in. And so she was like, thank you. But her husband's a firefighter, so she wasn't sure if he could get off.
Yeah, true.
He could not get off. She did come back and tell me. And I said, well, just let me know, and I'll get you in. But I think it's a good idea for here, too, because doing on a Waxahachie at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday, not everybody can do that. Mm-mm. That's just not real life because our listeners are all over the world.
Yeah.
So we will plan some kind of meet and greet, but we will also maybe make a prize be that you get to come and hang out
in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah. And we really want to do something. Okay. So me and my girlfriends like to do fun little themed things before it became a TikTok thing. So fuck y'all with your Mrs. Roper. Cause I was 2-3 years ahead of them. How many years has it been since we did the Mrs. Roper?
It was, I don't even know.
3 maybe years ago. And so now it's all over TikTok. It's like a big deal. Everybody's having Mrs. Roper parties, and they're wearing like their muumuus, which Zoe moved into the house and took over my muumuu.
I thought when I came over the other day, she was wearing the one that I wore to the muumuu.
Because I had numerous muumuus to share.
I was like, ooh, I like that muumuu, girl. And she was like, yeah, I live in this now.
Yeah, she said, can I have no, she didn't ask you, can I have it? I want to wear it every day. I was like, you can have the muumuu. It's got a tiger on it. It's awesome.
It is amazing.
So I'm thinking we need a themed thing where we invite guests, listeners to come with us. And we do like something like that.
Yeah.
But I have to come up with a new one. So in 3 years, TikTok will have something to talk about.
Exactly. I mean, you got to keep that content going. Where do you think they're going to get all their great ideas if you don't put it out there?
Right. So y'all keep listening and be involved and like and share and send messages.
We love it.
Please don't be afraid to send messages. It's really us answering, and we're probably just like laying in bed like.
Yeah. Like it's not a bot, and it's not like somebody that we're paying to do our social media. Where it's really us.
Yeah, it really is. I did tell Kelly, I was like, Zoe can help us with this now that she's home. She's like, no, we got this. This is our thing. I was like, okay. I got you. Anyway, so now y'all know what's up. As we've been off the air, our original plan was that I was going to recover from surgery, and Kelly was going to recover from her injury.
Yep.
And which is she's still in the boot.
Yeah, sadly.
I am now back at work. We thought we were going to do a little bit more during the time that I was off work, but I was sleeping a lot more than I thought, and I couldn't quite wake up. So the first week, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
The second week,
I think you were thinking you were going to be a lot more of like Superwoman.
I was randomly
Not
at times, but yeah, no.
I thought it was funny the fact that you were telling me the day after getting it done, you were up cleaning your house again. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to get over there and like tie her to the bed so she'll rest.
That's basically what Rick did. He kept getting on to me when he was catching me do things, and then he was like, get in bed and stop. I was like, okay, I'm going to try. No, right now. Put it down. Put it down. I put it down. I went upstairs and I went to bed. And then, and I don't watch TV. And so the whole time that I was there trying to like, you can only sleep so much.
Yeah.
And I don't usually get in bed unless I'm going to sleep. Like I don't watch TV ever, much less in bed.
You don't lounge.
I don't lounge. And so I was like, I guess I'm going to figure out a show. But, if you don't watch TV, it's really hard to figure out a show. I don't know anything about any of these TV shows. So I kind of like glanced through it and I saw Sweet Magnolia and I was like, oh, it's about Southern women. This is right up my alley. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
I did end up liking it. Is it a soap opera of stupidness? Yes. But I became slightly obsessed with it. I watched all 4, I think there's 4 seasons in maybe 1.5 weeks laying in bed. And at times I had to like fast forward because I was like, I didn't like when the guys would talk. I had no interest. I don't like guys sharing feelings. And that's a problem. I realize that's not nice. I just don't want to witness it. I think they should do it. I don't believe they're playing basketball and like, how are you feeling? I don't know men like that.
So it just wasn't believable, the scenes.
No, I'm sure there are men like that, but I think they might be married to other men.
No, I don't know. I think that's pretty much the only time guys do share their feeling is when they're distracted by recreational activity.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a world I don't know.
We're
so
not.
You might be right. And I hope for their sake they are getting their feelings out there. But I don't want to witness it. And I really wanted to... My favorite part of the show, if you've never seen the show, it's about these best friends, these 3 best friends. And I really, really felt them, like, because my relationship... it's just my girlfriend relationships are so important to me. Mm-hmm. And so I was watching it and just loving the girl relationships. Yeah. And so I really just wanted to watch the part where they would have margaritas together once a week. They had like a margarita night, and it would switch from person to person's house, and it would always be amazing glasses with crazy concoction margaritas, and not just like plain margaritas. And then they would sit there and they'd talk about their week and their feelings, and and I was like, that's badass, man. I wouldn't mind a margarita night every week, but I don't have time for that. But I mean, I would love it at our homes, not like out. Like I loved everything about it. But I'm going to tell you the one thing I didn't like about it. There's 3 characters. There's a black lady that is like a bad bitch. Like she's amazing. She's dressed to the nines. Her fashion sense is amazing. She's likable. She's strong-willed. She's just a bad bitch. Like you want to be your friend. You want her in your corner.
You want her to dress you.
I loved her.
Everything.
She's amazing. And I mean, she kind of screwed up in the men department, but don't we all? And but then the other one that was like the lead is the girl that was like the daughter that got pregnant on the Reba show. I don't know her name, but she's like the lead. And her fashion sense is like, I love everything she put on herself or they put on her. She just looked amazing. True Southern, like exactly what you see in a small town. Mm-hmm. She just fit in their houses. Oh my God, don't even get me started on the houses. But here's the part that got me. The other character was a heavier set girl or is a heavier set girl. She's beautiful. She's pretty freaking awesome too. Now, she did get on my nerves. Occasionally I thought she was a little bit of an ass, but so am I.
It happens.
But they dressed her so bad. Like they don't know how to dress a thick woman. Like they can't. If you cinch,
it's 2023 and you don't know how to dress a thick woman. It
just would piss me off. Every episode, I wanted to be like, "Can I help y'all? Yeah. Let me help you."
Obviously, they need it. Either they need the help or they're doing it on purpose, and that's even worse.
Right. And so then I go down a rabbit hole, right? And in the book, apparently this is based off a book. In the book, the character is not heavy. So I appreciate they casted a heavier woman for this character to show real life. Yeah. Because no friendship is only small women, especially at our age. And they're like 40-ish. Okay. And so it's just so bad. So I was, of course, drugged up and bored and watching the show. And I Googled, I can't remember the character's name, but I Googled her name in the show and I put wardrobe. Because I was like, I know other people are pissed.
Yeah.
Like, this offends me that they're dressing this beautiful, thick woman so poorly. And it's all over the internet. I'm not the only one. There's TikToks, there's Reddit.
You feel validated. You're like, okay, good. I'm glad.
I was like, take that fucking belt off her right now. At least where you put it is stupid, you know? And then I don't know why they do this, but I've seen a TikTok where this lady is like making fun of, what is the store for heavier women, Torrid. Mm-hmm. And she was like, why do y'all think that to show skin, you need to take a T-shirt and just cut out a triangle in the front. So the neck is still there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The neck is still there, and they cut this triangle right above your boobs, but it doesn't even show a lot of boob. It's just like a triangle.
Yes,
and then they like to maybe make a few cuts in the back, maybe a few on the arm. But like that's kind of their go-to sexy look.
Yeah.
And that can be sexy, but maybe one shirt's enough. And it's like all over the thing.
To cut all of the shirts up.
No, and that's what they keep putting on her too. On any time it's like a sexy thing, that's what they put on her every fucking time.
Just a shirt with some cutouts.
Yes, or a sweater with some cutouts or whatever. And so every time it pop up, I'd get pissed off. I was like, I should be a costume designer. Clearly, I'm in the wrong industry. They need a woman that's thick to do this.
Yes,
and I was thinking of you. I was like, Kelly could fucking nail this. I could fucking nail this. Erica could fucking nail this. I was getting pissed. That's my follow-up on Sweet Magnolia. I do recommend the show if you like a soap opera, stupid show with beautiful houses. And the houses are all the buildings. Every scene, every place they go is amazing looking, right? It's like downtown Waxahachie on steroid. It looks like downtown Waxahachie in Gingerbread Trail. Yeah. Like it looks like those homes, okay? But every home has so much damn turquoise in it. If the cabinets aren't turquoise, the walls are, if they're not both, in every house. And I love turquoise, but come on.
Wow.
There are other colors.
You can tell that they're trying to put forth a demographic that they don't really understand, but they're just trying to put it together.
Yes, like they watched a few episodes of whatever her name is from Waco, Magnolia.
Yeah.
That's their big company. Yeah.
I have a feeling.
I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, they watch a little too much of that. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. But you know, other colors exist.
Yeah, they do.
And
we like other colors.
So that's what I did. That sums up my entire surgery process. Except Rick left me. I have more on this. Then we're going to talk about your foot. Okay, this is really funny.
Nowhere near as interesting as yours is.
Well, I was drugged up a lot, so that made it funnier. But I go in there for the surgery. Rick goes with me. We have to be there at like 6 a.m. Surgery scheduled for 7:30, I think. And I have like a group text of my girlfriends that like group text. So you don't like group text, you're not on it. And Mary's not on it.
I have to tell you, I love you so much when you leave me out of group text.
I know. No, and I don't like to be in group text, but I like occasional group text. So like, I pick and choose very carefully people that understand the fact that I want this limited.
Yeah.
You know, and I will just ignore it if I'm not in the mood and mute it. And but I don't add you and I don't add Mary unless I ask you permission. Because
or if it's an upcoming thing, you start a new one so that we can all be on the same page. And I totally understand that. So
this current one, which has been going on for about 6 months, is titled Bitches in my phone. They're my bitches.
Well, yeah.
And so it's Brandy. I don't even know who else on it. Erica, Shelby. That might be it. It's not a big one. And we don't like blow it up. Every once in a while, someone pops in and says something funny or sends something funny. Anyways, so Brandy she's the worst one. Love you, Brandy, but she is a blower upper, and I can't always follow everything that she puts out there. And so that was one thing that got me like through the whole process of the I am in bed all day. I actually read every text, every every conversation. I got so much shared, but I was going off on them about this damn show the whole time. I was like, do y'all understand how much turquoise is involved in this fucking show? They're like, Zada, we're not watching this show. I was like, well, I'm going to need y'all to watch it because I'm
going to be mad enough for everybody, okay?
Yes, yeah. This is breaking out to everybody. So Rick, anyway, so they're texting me in this group text, the bitches group text, and they're texting me right before I go into surgery. And they're like, has your anesthesiologist come in yet? Is he is he there yet? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, how do y'all know it's a guy? I didn't know it was a guy. They're like, oh, it's always a hot guy.
Yeah, it's like the rule.
Yeah, they're like, it's always hot guys. And I was like, oh, no, he's not been in here yet, but I'll let y'all know.
Because that's what they want, the last thing you see before you fall asleep.
I guess so.
Like, oh, nice.
So Brandy's like, does he have a beard? They always have a beard. It's at least a good mustache. I'm like, I don't know yet. Meanwhile, Rick is there. So the nurse practitioner, not the nurse practitioner, the doctor's nurse, like the surgery nurse comes in. She's like, I just want to let you know what to expect. This is what's about to happen. Okay, so she's going through the whole scene. I look over at Rick's face. It's changed. I can tell something's up in his head. So I'm like, okay. And so I say to the doctor tells me everything. The doctor leaves, or the nurse leaves. Rick says, "You're not having a hysterectomy?" No.
This whole time, that's what you thought you were having.
Up until 10 minutes before I went under.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, no, I'm
Here we go.
Bless your heart.
Bless his heart. And he was like shocked. He goes, what are you having? I said, my hernia. I have a hernia. Remember? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do.
Man, he was excited.
I mean, and then he says, I thought all my problems were about to be solved. Apparently, I'm emotional
Oh my
since
God.
at this point in life.
He just wanted things to be easier for you, Zada.
That's all he cared about.
Was really hoping
it was so funny. I was like, "You're stupid." He was laughing. I was laughing. So then the anesthesiologist comes in, and it is a little gay guy, and he's cute as can be, but he looked like Christian Siriano, the designer.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was really that is like probably the last show I was real into was Project Runway.
Honestly,
I love me
same.
some Project Runway.
And I think the last one that I actually watched though was the one that he was on.
I think me too. Yeah, I think me too. And I loved him. And he's very successful now, and he is very size inclusive now, and he does some amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. He looked like Christian Siriano, but he was also highly tatted. Like he made you not look tatted.
Wow. Nice.
And he had amazing artwork, expensive artwork. So I know he's making some money. So he comes in. And so I don't text the girls back because at this point I've given Rick my phone. I am prepared to go under.
Yeah.
But I'm laughing because I'm like, this is not, I mean, cute as can be, but it's not, you know. So they put me under, or they give me my shot or whatever, and then they roll me down the hallway. And my last memory is going into the operating room, and I look around, and I've never been in an operating room because the only time I've ever been in the hospital is giving birth.
Same.
And
I've never been in an operating room either.
yeah, well, and giving birth, they have birthing rooms now, so you don't really go in the operating room. I did with Zoe, but it was like a birthing operating room. It was not like it is now. Now you give birth basically in the room that they keep you in.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I look around and there's all kinds of equipment. And I'm like, oh, y'all got all kinds of stuff in here. I'm high, you know. I'm like, y'all got all kinds of stuff in here. And they're like, yeah, well, we do a lot in here. I was like, I see that. I'm out. That's it. That's my last memory.
And bye.
So then I wake up in the recovery room and Rick's there. And apparently I slept for about 2.5 hours after the surgery. And the surgery lasted about an hour. And so I wake up to Rick. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, Zada.
I ain't got time for this.
You got to get ready so you can go home. You got to wake up. And I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to wake up. And I'm in and out awake. And the nurse is there. And she's like, you okay? You waking up? I'm like, yeah, I'm waking up. And they're asking me questions. And I'm going back to sleep in the middle. I'm trying, but
5 more minutes.
Yeah, I'm going back to sleep. Rick's like, you need to wake up now. You need to wake up. I'm like, I'm trying to wake up. I can't. Let me just sleep a minute. I'm like, no, you're not.
Time's up.
Yeah. And so now, ever since then, he has told everybody he knows, I saved Zada's life. She didn't want to wake up. I saved her life.
She was going towards the light.
She was. I saved her life. She did not want to wake up until I made her wake up. And so I'm just like, he didn't really quite say, he's more, but,
yeah, we know. Like baby dinosaur.
Yeah, but he really thinks that he's really something. And so then surgery, he's home until the following Thursday. He leaves, I think, Wednesday or Thursday after the surgery. So for the first few days there, take care of me, whatever. And I'm doing better. I'm like cleaning house and shit. He leaves. And he has to work out of town. And so he's gone for 12 days, 11 days, somewhere around that. And so he's gone the whole time. During the time that he's gone, my daughter decides to move home, my 26-year-old. So I go, just kind of some things that happened, and she just needed to come home. She needs to go back to school. She just needs to come home for a minute. She's got 1 year left. So she calls me and says, come pick me up. I'm like, got you. I want you back in school. We're doing this. So I drive to Austin in the middle of the night, pick her up, bring her back with her damn cats. And that's a different story. We'll tell a different day. Bring her back. And she's living with us. We don't have an extra bedroom, so I'm getting creative. I'm doing all kinds of stuff, preparing for her. And so Rick comes home after 10, 11 days, and we have a 26-year-old living with us that he knows. He knows Zoe, but she's been gone for 9 years. She went to college at 17 in Louisiana at LSU. So she's been gone for 9 years. So we've been dating for about 11. So, they know each other, but,
yeah,
and now she's living in the house. And then my son came over for his birthday, my older son. So the other night I had all 4 kids home. And Rick was right in the middle of it, having a great time with them, cracking jokes. I was like, this is good. This is good. And it's gone pretty good. But when he came home after the 10, 11 days, he has a hard time with change. And he was so grumpy. And so after a few days, I was like, listen, I've had enough. So you're going to have to, I know change is hard. But, I need you to be a little nicer. And then he came and he changed. He did it. He realized, I need to be nicer. And that's what he did. And that was my 2 weeks. You're not caught up. This is what... I got stories about cats and shit, but literally cats and shit.
Those are the two things.
I'm going to tell those another day. But that is that is what I have been doing for the last 2 weeks. And if you follow me on social media, you'd know that. Because I've talked about it.
Yeah.
But what have you been doing?
Well, it hasn't been as interesting as everything that you've had going on because I don't have any
kids. You
kids.
didn't almost die? Dante didn't save you? Your 26-year-old didn't move home?
No.
Well, I'm sorry for your luck.
My 26-year-old is still out there in the world, I guess. But things are going good. Obviously, I'm completely over having to wear this stupid boot. But
Kelly got busted at Walmart without her boot on by one of her kids.
Yeah, one of the kids that go to the Boys and Girls Club, they saw me there. And they're like, why don't you have your boot on? I'm like, well, I can take breaks not wearing it.
Yeah, I could tell you were like...
She was just looking at me like, we're not having this.
I laughed so hard at her. She goes,
It was like I got caught by my mom. She's like,
I know.
Where is your boot?
Where is it?
But the last time I went, the doctor, did x-rays, which I'm actually going back this week for my second round of x-rays and everything. But he had told me, when I'm at home in a safe zone, I can take it off and take breaks without it. And so, but we
were in Walmart.
I've kind of pushed that a little bit with hanging out and we've been doing some, photos and stuff like that. So I have my boot on, but I have a change of shoes. That way I can put on for photos and stuff like that so that I'm not in a boot. But I've kind of taken it a little bit further than I needed to and decided, I want to look cute going out. I'm not going to wear my boot. Now I haven't been wearing heels or anything.
Right.
I haven't taken it and been crazy, but I have just not worn it. And I could definitely tell when I'm not wearing it like I'm supposed to, because it definitely gets more sore. And at the end of the day, I can tell that it's it gets swollen. And so I'm not messing around anymore. I'm making sure, and I have gotten in trouble by Dante too. He's walked in one time where I didn't have it on. And he's like, do I need to call your mom? And I'm like, for what? He was like, just looks down. He's like, and tell her that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm fine. I don't have to wear it all the time at home. He's like, every time I see you, you don't have it on though. I was like, okay, fine. So I went and put it on. I'm like, all right. He's like, you're going to be upset with yourself when it takes you even longer to have it healed, or it doesn't heal properly. You're not going to be.
I don't want it to not heal properly like my foot because I refuse to go to the doctor. And now, can I wear heels? No, I can't.
Yeah, and see, I remember that you telling me that in my head all the time. Good. And I'm like, okay, put your boot on, because I don't know what I would do if I wasn't able to wear my heels anymore. Yeah. I know that there's going to come a time, probably I'm going to get to a certain age where it's just not comfortable anymore. And I don't have cartilage in
But when I say it happened overnight, I was wearing heels every day to work because it was required for 10 years after the accident. And then I was walking into an interview, and
Yeah.
in the hall, I felt it go out. And ever since then,
Yeah. So I definitely
it's
don't
gone.
want that to happen. I want to have as many heel wearing years.
I want that for
as
you.
possible because I just love them so much. They're just so much a part of my aesthetic that I don't want to give them up. So I tell myself that, and I'm like, just I'd rather do the time right now that I need to do, put in the time to actually get it healed right, or than not face like not being able to wear the heels.
Yeah,
So.
I don't blame you. I associate heels with you too.
But I also have been looking for like cute non-heel shoes because I do have
Wedges are a good way around that. That's why I own so many wedges.
Yeah, that would be kind of like the stepping stone.
Right.
Is the kind of a little bit of platform, or the wedges.
Wedges, yeah.
But
I'm all about the wedges, as you know, because you borrow them. So you know how that goes.
hey, we have a open clothes relationship.
We do.
Open clothes.
Kelly stopped by because Zoe's living at home now, and Kelly stopped. She goes, "I was going to donate all these clothes. I cleaned my closet. I was going to donate these clothes, but I was thinking you might want them." I was like, "Definitely will want them." I am bigger than my girls, but we like different styles and different. I don't know. We're all similar but different. I have one daughter that's country and one daughter that's rock and roll, just like you and I.
Yeah.
So Zoe is living there, and she didn't bring all her clothes with her. And I said, "You need to look through those clothes because I want you to get first pick at them." Because Zaylee has an ass load of clothes because she still lives at home with me. So
Yeah.
And so Zoe looks over and she was like, "Oh my God, I love everything I've seen." She loved it. She was like, "You think this will fit me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think they will." So she's going through them and everything. And you have a pair of leggings that have like a machine gun going down the front. When she opened those leggings, she was like, "Oh my God." Kelly's a legend.
I was so happy too because literally
Kelly was, Zoe was genuinely like lost her shit over those.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy because
Yeah.
I had put that box together before she moved home.
Oh.
I went through all my clothes because I had that box in my dressing room for literally forever.
Yeah.
And then I got Dante. I was like, "Will you please just take this out of my dressing room and put it in my car so that at
I'll do
least
something with
it's
it."
one step closer?" Because it was a
Right.
big box and it's
I
heavy.
drove around with clothes to donate for, this, for like 6 months. Every time someone got in my car, I was like, "Just move those over."
Yeah.
Just move those over.
So they were even in my car probably a week before you even went and got Zoe. They had been in my car for forever. And then after you had said, the next time we go like thrifting, we need to take Zoe. Or if you go one day thrifting, go grab Zoe so that she can start looking for some clothes because she needs to build a wardrobe back up. And I was like, ba-boom. And then like light switch went off. I was like, I freaking have a huge box of clothes in the back of my car
Gold
right now.
mine. She loved everything.
That makes me so
And I was
happy.
like, I'm not surprised. Y'all have similar taste.
Yeah,
you know?
we definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I'm
so-
happy that they're going to good use.
Appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our catching up. Is there anything? Oh, my truck broke down. Not broke down, but it had to get work done to it.
Had to go to the hospital.
I go to the hospital. Kelly had to save me. So, first off, before Kelly saved me, Amy, Al's wife, saved me because we were going to the dealership to drop it off, and they have bought 2 vehicles there. And so she was like, "Let me go in with you because they know who I am, and it might help you." I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I was
you got to
like-
take your wins where you can.
I was like,
man.
"Got you, girl. Let's go." Because I asked her she's the one that took me to get Rick's truck because when Rick was out of town, I had his spare key. So I said, "I'm driving your truck. I'm not renting a vehicle when I turn, because he was out of town anyways." I loved it. Big F-250.
Yeah.
I loved to drive. The whole time I was like, I need a 250 for nothing other than I just love it.
Yeah.
And so I go, okay. So she takes me and she gets it. And then she takes me back to the dealership and drop it off. She comes in with me. They're like, "Oh, it's going to take about a week and a half." And then she walks in and they're like, "No, never mind. It's not going to take a week and a half or so. We'll get this to you real quick." Yeah. So I was like, "Thank you." And they're like, "Yeah." Amy's like, "Take care of my friend." And they're like, "Absolutely." So they did. And so then I did have to get a rent car because he came home and he needed his truck back. So I went and got a rent car. Go to turn it in. He's out of town again, or he's working late. So I asked Kelly to come pick me up. Kelly comes pick me up. We get stuck in bumper to bumper traffic the whole way to the rental car place. I mean, it should have been a 10-minute drive.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
It was so stupid.
I just sat there. I've been reading an audiobook, so I just turned that on. I was just sitting in traffic, catching up on
I
my
texted her and I was like, I hate this.
This is ridiculous.
And she was like, me too. So then we dropped the car off, and then she's got to follow me back to pick up my truck. Traffic all the way back. Then we have to go to Walmart. Can't even get out of the damn parking spot. Traffic. This is Waxahachie. What the
That's what Waxahachie is now. Okay, if you're thinking about moving to Waxahachie, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
We're full. Sorry, Zoe. She just walked in the room. We're full, Zoe. I know. We're like, no, she's here. Let's talk bad. Anyway.
Go back to where you came from.
She really friended up because it took a good 2.5 hours to do all that.
Yeah.
And most of the time we were sitting in traffic. So thank you for that.
That's what best friends are for.
That is. So that's our catch-up story. Okay, so today's subject matter, weekly item, daily item. I don't know what
I think we've called it
our topic of the day.
Topic of the
top of the week, yeah. Is dreams and goals. And the reason I got this idea is y'all know I'm a TikTokaholic, and there's someone I follow on TikTok, and her name is.
If we ever start a TikTok as well, that's going to be on you.
I'm going to do it soon. No, I have a plan.
Okay,
it's coming. But I want y'all to follow her.
I've got Instagram. You don't even have to do TikTok.
I'll get TikTok. Okay. But, you're so much better. Anyway, we'll get back to that.
Well, okay.
Anyways, her name is Lily Lou Tay, like LILYLOUTAY. Okay. She has 1 million followers. She's awesome. I've been following her for months, way before the millions. And I don't know where she even lives, but she's a country girl and she lives out somewhere. And her husband is fucking hot. He's like this bearded country boy, but he's so fucking in love with her.
Aww,
and she's like naturally just stunning. And I don't want to call her thick. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but she's normal. She looks like a normal woman, but sexy as fuck. Like if I was going to be gay, this is the woman I would chase. And most her content's cooking, so that makes sense. And that's why I started following her, is her cooking stuff. And it's all made from scratch. She makes her own wine. They have like a homestead. They're really into this homestead thing. And her husband's just amazing. And he just comes in and like takes about her food, and just watching them look at each other. I'm just like, oh my God, I love this couple. Anyways, follow her. But she is the reason I got this idea, because she did a little post which was different than most her posts. And it was about, and I sent it to Kelly and I was like, I want to talk about this. And she was saying about, follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Don't give up on yourself. Get out there and do what you want to do.
Yeah. And don't second guess and think, oh, this isn't going to make a difference, or, if you're unsure of what you're called to do, or what your, what is it?
Your path.
Yeah. Your path, your passion.
And I think you get older and you start
blessed with.
Yes. And so when you're younger, you see the world as your oyster, and you're like, I can do anything. I can, not everybody feels that way, but I think you're more likely to feel like that, where you're like, I could be a singer. You think about little kids, you're like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be a professional athlete. I want to be a pop star. I want to be an astronaut. And then you ask them when they're a little older, and they're like, I want to be a CEO. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a CFO. I want to design my own handbags, whatever. And then they get a little bit older, and they're like, I'm just really hoping to be a manager.
Just want to make ends meet.
Yeah. And then, as you get older, you start realizing there's not a lot of astronauts, and there's not a lot of purse designers that can make a living. And there's not a lot of, presidents of the United States. There's only so many people that can be that. And you give up. And you start just making sure you can get dinner on time. And that you can, maybe make 50 cents a year a raise or whatever. And I'm here to tell people we're selling ourselves short.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of times we put limits on ourselves because other people have put limits on us.
Yeah.
And, I have always been in some kind of creative thing. And so growing up, I always wanted to do theater, or I wanted to paint, or I wanted to do poetry, or I wanted to do debate. I was big in debate. No, I was just really big into some kind of creative aspect. But I didn't have a certain thing I was extra good at. if that makes sense. And I just didn't really, there you go. Is that our first of the season, if that makes sense?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's
Motherfucker.
I'm just going to say it's probably not. Okay.
Probably not. But get used to it, bitches. So, you know, you just, the world starts telling you can't do things. And, you know, I follow this girl and she's become very successful on TikTok, just being herself. I truly believe she's just being herself and her husband being himself. And they're just like living their best life. That is a very quaint life.
Yeah.
But it's their best life and it's an awesome life. And so she's doing cooking and she's probably going to do a cookbook or, you know, which is awesome. And so I kind of started thinking about myself and my friends. And so Kelly, I was like, what are you doing for yourself? What are you know, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing 2 podcasts. And I've always wanted to create a creative outlet. In high school, I've said this before in here, I said I was going to be a talk show host or a DJ basically when I grew up, but I never pursued them. I had kids young and I never even tried. Honestly, I didn't think I could do it. And life got me and it was just take care of kids, make sure the lights are on and the food is available. And so now that I get older, I've had some friends that have gone through some life changes and had some awakenings in life. And so I've had some friends that have started to chase their dreams again. Like they chased them in their 20s and gave them up. So I have a very good friend that's a singer-songwriter. And during her raising children age, she decided to give up on her music and raise children and do that thing. And it's my friend that you hear the theme song. And y'all know Erica. And so she had to stop. She had to stop and be mom. And she had to give up on her dreams. I'm not going to say give up on them, but put them on hold.
Yeah.
And so then life kind of came about and she was like, I'm back on it and I'm going to make this happen. And these are my goals and this is what I'm going to make happen. And this is what we're going to do. And she's making it happen.
Yeah.
She's actively pursuing it. She's making it important to her. And I'm going to tell you, she's hit some brick walls. Not everybody supports it. Not everybody in her life is like, yes, because they want her to do things for them.
Yeah.
And so it's a fight to do it. So with you and I, it's a podcast. And so that's my creative outlet right now is to do the podcast. We have another friend that tomorrow has a comedy show. And she's always wanted to be a comedian. She's very funny. And so she looked up comedy show, like comedian, like classes. I didn't even know this was a thing. So she's like, how can I become a comedian? How do you become a comedian? So she looks it up. They teach classes. They teach you how to deliver a joke. And I mean, it's still your material, but they're just teaching you.
Yeah. How to fine tune it.
Yeah. And they work with you and they coach you. And then the final like end thing is you get so much set time and they do a whole performance.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So
and so
cool.
she's like a mom of 3 or 4 and she's like a little younger than us, not much. She's in her younger than me. She's older than you, but she's in her earlier 40s, slightly than me. And she's in the middle of like her parents are not doing well, you know, health wise. And like the shit is hitting the fan right now in her life. And like she made a post yesterday. She was like, life's not real funny for me right now. So I'm supposed to write jokes. And so I'm having to write dark jokes. Finding the humor in where I am in life.
Well.
And so I just thought if she can do that.
Yeah.
And if Erica can write songs about what she's going through and put that out there for the world to listen to, for you and I to sit down here and do a podcast where we talk about what we're going through and we put ourselves out there. I just think, other than you, we're all in our 40s. And we all have not done anything creative or for ourselves in years. And now we're getting to the point that we're getting creative and we're doing things for ourselves again. And so no matter what age you are, I think it's really important that you listen to that and you think about that and you don't lose yourself and you continue to invest yourself and that you believe in your dreams and you believe in what you want to do in the future.
Yes.
And that just because you're not where your neighbor is or your classmate from high school right now, it doesn't mean that you haven't hit your high yet.
So true.
It's okay to start over.
Yeah.
It's okay to pick up an old habit, whether it be comedy, talking. I don't know what you call what we do. I can shit talk like a motherfucker. Telling stories, being a storyteller, being a songwriter, being whatever. It might be painting. It might be decorating. It could be anything. Maybe you've always wanted a fucking lawn business. Like you really love doing lawn. Like anything. It can be anything.
Yeah. Talents come in various forms. And so that's another thing is to not, I tell you what, comparison is the thief of happiness. Like it completely robs you of your joy when you start comparing yourself to others. And so whenever you are
you start comparing other people to others.
When you're trying to figure out what it is that is your passion and what it is that you were put on this planet to do, or whatever it is that that is your niche to bring you joy and to bring other people joy, it's fine to look out and to see what other people are doing to see if that's what's gonna fit for you. But to compare yourself to others is never what you're gonna want to do, because that's gonna rob you of your joy. It's gonna rob you of what God actually gave you to do. And so you need to figure out what it is that brings you happiness, even if it's never something you've ever even tried before.
It's okay to reinvent yourself to achieve that, because I think a lot of times when we make a mistake, we invest a lot of time in that mistake, whether it be a marriage, a career, a job, a car, or a home, whatever, whatever you invest in. And then if you realize it's a mistake, but you've put all this time into this mistake, you've put all this energy into this mistake, and then you're afraid to give up on the mistake and you keep pushing forward, don't do that. It is okay to give up on that mistake and start a new beginning.
Yeah, let that time go.
And and I think that's a common issue, is that you've invested so much into someone or something or a job or whatever, and then you're afraid to admit you're wrong. My marriage is always my go-to conversation in that. I put so much into that and so much time into that, and I was so determined I was going to prove my parents wrong that I couldn't admit I was wrong, that it cost me a decade. I knew a decade before that I'd made a mistake. I knew way before that, but a decade before, I had made a decision 10 years before my divorce. Their divorce was happening, whether I made it happen or not. And I just think that time was a thief on me, because I allowed it to continue for another decade because I didn't want to admit I had made a mistake.
Yep.
And
it can be so hard, especially in this day and age, to go out and try and put yourself out there, especially if you are doing anything that requires social media. And so many things do now. Even if you have a business that doesn't have to do with social media, you need it to be able to promote yourself, to promote your business.
Especially if you're in a creative aspect.
So when you're doing something that's creative, or if you're doing something that has to do with social media, or you're having to use social media in order to get yourself out there, you really need to make sure that you are keeping yourself in a safe place, because there's so much hate out there. It's just, you're never going to do something that you don't get hate. And you can post something that you would think there's no way that anybody could get mad or offended or say anything negative about this, but I guarantee you there's going to be somebody that's going to be able to spin it in a way that you're going to get that negativity. And it's so sad. And I really, that's one of the reasons that I stayed off of social media for so long, and I really do put up a barrier between me and social media, because I know that there's that dark aspect of it that you do not want to get sucked into, because it's such a slippery slope. And
that's why Instagram is good for you, because you don't have to read the comments.
You don't have to. You can turn them off. You can, and they have done
pictures.
They've done a lot better with their software, that they can actually edit, they go through, if they can notice hate comments or negative comments, so it can let you know, hey, this might be triggering, or this might be a negative comment.
We've had previous posts where people were blocked or whatever. I don't know what the term is. Because of language like the one you're using, whatever.
But it's out there. So that's another thing, is whenever don't let that kind of stuff stand in your way, though. Those are the kind of things that you're just going to have to face, and you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt, and you're going to have to realize that what they are saying that has no reflection on you. It's a totally reflection on them and where they're at. Yeah. And so much of it is just AI. It's not even real people. It is. It's people that their accounts have been hacked, and that they're using that to go in and comment on. A lot of it's even computer,
or even comparisons where they're comparing. You're looking at younger people, especially, but older too. You're looking at pictures of people that you think are your age, or you think are in your same circle, and they're AI, or they're very what's the word? Photoshopped or what? And people compare. It's what people only put on the internet what they want you to know about them. They only want you to know. So Zoe's a good example because Zoe was showing up all over the country on dating sites with her pictures with different names and ages. So people she knew in other parts of the country were like, I just saw you on a dating site with a different name and a different age. So, if she's showing up there, she's probably showing up other places.
Yeah.
And so yes, there's guys being lured in based off that, but also there's girls comparing themselves to her. So they could show a picture of Zoe when she's 20 and say they're 40. And then 40-year-old women are like, I don't look like that. There's so much manipulation that can happen.
The internet is absolutely crazy.
No.
We all have to just be on our guard
and
24/7.
not compare ourselves and not, whatever. But with going back to the whole creative aspect of it, if you have a creative outlet, I feel like you keep your brain working, and that's kind of
it stimulates you.
It stimulates your brain.
Yeah.
But when you're creative and you're putting yourself out there, even in ways people don't know. So let's say you're a painter. My mom was a painter. Late in life, she learned to paint and started painting. She's putting herself into those paintings and putting those paintings out there, and then people are judging those paintings. She can't take it personal. Yeah. One person's going to like what another person doesn't necessarily. And so you might win an award here and not win an award here on the same painting, which actually happened to my mom. And so her very first painting she ever did, she didn't start painting until she was in her 50s. And her very first painting was of a rooster. And I don't remember his exact name because there's 15 of them, but she named them like Juan, Jose, Julio, Sanchez, Diego. It was like 50 different names. She made this rooster painting. It was beautiful. It was awesome. She goes into the very first contest she ever puts it in, she wins first place. And she's like, oh my God, I'm an amazing painter. I won first place. The next thing she put herself in, she didn't place at all. Same painting. It's all in the eye.
Yeah, it really is.
And so it goes back to us as a people and as people. So like our friend Melindy got me this sweatshirt that said, I'm not for everybody. Because I am very much your favorite person or you hate me. Like there's no in between. My entire life, there's a group of people that really like me and think I'm awesome. And there's another group of people that think just as negatively of me. And I'm okay with that because if everybody likes me, I am definitely not being myself because nobody's perfect. Yeah. So if everybody likes me, I'm kissing somebody's ass. I don't know whose it is, but somebody's ass is being kissed for everybody to like you. And so I'm, that was just really my point. It's okay to disappoint people. It's okay to fail. It's okay to do all those things, but you need to try.
Yeah.
And you need to do something for yourself. And so if that's a creative outlet, maybe it's not a creative outlet. Maybe doing something for yourself means that you just find something you're not great at, but you want to accomplish, and you accomplish that. It might be that you're keeping the house cleaner than ever. That's a hard job. And if you're working at it and you're succeeding at it, something to be proud of. Okay. It can be that little.
Yeah.
I mean, because it makes you feel good.
Just never stop setting those goals for yourself or thinking outside of the box or
it's never too late.
Yeah. It's never too early and it's never too late. Don't think that you're too young to start doing something and don't think that you're too old to start doing something.
And I hate to say I forgot this lady's name, but I did. But I watched, again, a TikTok about this lady that was a very celebrated Hispanic artist, and she sang ballads. I forget what they call those in Mexico, but like there's a term for it. She sang ballads, and she was very famous for these ballads. But she was born in like the 30s, 40s, and she sang like male ballads, the way men sang in Mexico. But they usually would use instruments, and she stripped it down more a cappella. But she would sing all these songs, these famous songs that were like love songs. But she never changed the genders. So they were always about women. And she was a woman. And she dressed as a man, and she was masculine from the time she was a child. And back in like I said, the 30s. And so she was pretty famous, and she was very well known. And she became a big deal in the music industry in Mexico. And then she kind of disappeared. She had some issues in the 75, 76. She just disappeared. And she was gone about 15 years. And then she came back because some new, younger Mexican artist said, she's my inspiration, and went and found her and brought her back and had her do some albums. And she was playing like Carnegie Hall and shit at 81 years old. I'm talking just like she died in like 2003. So like within the last 20 years, she was like a year before she died, she was playing like the massive American venues. And then she wrote a book about her life and finally admitted that she was a lesbian and like talked about her life and all that, outed herself, I guess, whatever the case is. But she's like 81 playing the biggest show she's ever played in her life. Like she never gave up on her dream and chasing it. So I'm just saying.
Hats off.
I'm just saying age is not important when it comes to chasing your dream. You can do anything you want to do whenever you want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, oh my God, my friend finished college at 21 and they're successful in doing this. You get to my age, you realize that doesn't mean shit, man. This motherfucker could be homeless by the time he's my age.
Right.
And that guy that didn't do shit for shit, like, quit school in 9th grade and was selling drugs, he might own like so much shit. He might have his own ranch. He might whatever. You don't know. Don't count people out.
No. If you're still here and you still got time, you should still be wanting to do
and
something.
don't give up on yourself.
Do something with that time that you have.
So that's my rant. And it all started because of my TikTok crush and her husband together. Their love and her cooking and his love of her cooking encouraged me. I literally was watching it and I was like, she just like cooking dinner and he's just like, you're a goddess. This is the best thing I've ever eaten and you're amazing. And I was like, I'm ready to buy any cookbook she makes. I don't know, care if
Put me on that wait list, please.
Yeah. And so when she came out and was talking about it, I was like, she's absolutely right. I want to talk about this.
That's awesome.
So that's my weekly topic, our weekly topic. Got anything you want to throw in on that?
I love it.
I love it. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Maybe come back next week and bring a friend.
Yeah. And remember, there's always 3 sides to every story.
2 sides and the truth.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.